Hi, Roy here on my channel Roy Reads Anything including occasional forays into the strange world of Superman family comics from the 1970s. I think this would be 1974, so it's a 100-page special. Lois Lane presents the Superman family. So this comic had turn and turnabout stories by different leads, Jimmy Olsen and Supergirl being the main ones. And at this point you got one new story and a whole bunch of reprints. And as a sort of bedtime read for all you little children out there, I'm going to read Lois Lane in a brand new thriller. Lois probes a sinister syndicate as an unofficial agent of the SIA. Spurning Superman's help, she tackles the murdering arm of Metropolis. Page 4. So let's see what that's all about. So we start off at the top of the page with a long panel. Lois there at a typewriter. There's a sort of balloon coming out of to show us what's on a sheet of paper she's reading that says, "Killer of agent caught by Lois Lane in typewriting. Come in, I was just typing up my latest scoop for the Daily Planet, or what would be if it weren't still top secret. However, I got special permission to tell the whole story to you. Whoever we are in this scenario, we're listening to the secret story. You're all familiar with Lois Lane." It's not her speaking anymore. This is the captions of the comic. You're all familiar with Lois Lane, famed as a prominent TV newscaster and newspaper reporter. There she is. She's panel showing her reporting on a big fire. Also known for her many daring adventures with Superman. Now she's wearing a white jumpsuit, standing behind Superman, who's being sprayed with bullets. But now, meet the new Lois as she enters a secret and sinister world of intrigue. And there's a picture of Lois Lane with a big metal robot arm hurtling towards her. So she's being menaced by a metal arm. And more harrowing and hair-raising, more dangerous and deadly than anything she's encountered before. But now, I'll just show you this arm. I'm not going to keep waving pictures at you, but see, I don't think it's a very scary arm. It's got this spring up the middle. It looks like something's been made with as a science project of robot arms, but there you go. It is nevertheless more harrowing and hair-raising, more dangerous and deadly than anything she's encountered before. But now, even before it begins, her new career is threatened to be cut short. For Lois has been added to the list of victims of the murdering arm of Metropolis. And we get into the story properly. An outdoor botanist convention in Metropolis Park. A most unlikely site for a murder, don't you think? Well, think again. Lois Lane's thinking. There he is, I finally spotted him. Dr. Foxley, hold on. Oh, and then she's being rugby tackled and her camera's gone flying. Oh, she says, I've heard of a guy making a pass at a girl, but like this. So the bloke who's tackled her, I was just doing my job, miss. Oh, good heavens, it's Lois Lane, says this Dr. Foxley guy. And they're surrounded by big sort of plants. A bit of a Kew Gardens kind of scenario. I'm so sorry, this is Simon Cross, my special bodyguard. His orders are to stop anyone from getting too close to me. Obviously he didn't know who you are. Emphasis in original. My apologies, the SIA has reason to believe Dr. Foxley's life is in danger. That's why I was assigned to protect him. The SIA must be something big for the secret intelligence agency to be involved. Which is exactly why I'm ordering you to leave. You'll have to get your story elsewhere. No way, friend, says Lois. I was also assigned to Dr. Foxley by my company, WGBS TV, to do a film feature on him. But close by in this botanical haven of imported rare plants, a large South American specimen proves to be deadly, because that robot arm is emerging from the leaves as it sprouts a hidden killer, who's a guy wearing ordinary clothes but a skull mask, and one normal arm and the aforementioned robot arm. Lois again, and my boss, Morgan Edge, has used his vast resources to help your organisation many times. Is this how the SIA returns a favour? Now look, lady, but the skull guy's pointing a gun. He's firing what looks like a sort of furry, spiky seed from the gun, which goes psst. I'm just following orders. My boss told me to keep all news people away from Dr. Foxley. He's just been hit in the neck. Well, what happened to him? Maybe he was hit. I thought I saw something in the bushes over there. See how he is while I take a look. So Lois defaults into the caring work of looking after the fallen Foxley while this Simon Cross man runs off, gun drawn. Guess it was only my imagination, nothing here but some plants. But if you'd taken a closer look at one particular display, it's that hand again. But inside, nothing. Oh, hang on, no, sorry. Turn 2 pages at once. Back to the fallen Dr. Foxley. Meanwhile, other convention guests, remember it's a botanical convention, the well-known thing, have rushed to the victim's side. Was I right? I'm afraid so. Dr. Foxley is dead. Did you say dead? But we didn't hear any shot. Yeah, come on, Cross, do your job. A silent air gun killed him, but not with a bullet. And if it hadn't been for Miss Lane's sharp observation, the cause of death would be a mystery, because she said she noticed Foxley clutching his left ear as he fell. So we probed very closely and spotted a tiny tamarind seed lodged next to his eardrum. The assassin was an excellent marksman. I don't get it. You mean there's a seed that can kill? These men explain why the tamarind is unique. It sprouts roots instantly when released into the air. Then the seed sprouting inside Foxley's head literally destroyed his brain, and also destroyed the secret of the mysterious wonder plant he was supposed to reveal at our convention. Okay, soon a sleek sports car brakes to a stop next to an operating garbage truck. Hard to see quite the link there. I think this Simon Cross agent bloke has driven off with Lois Lane and they've stopped next to a garbage truck. Get this straight, Miss Lane, you're not on this case. I'm only taking you to my chief so you can give him an eyewitness report on Foxley's murder. I see. Because I'm a girl, I'd only get in your way and foul things up, right? I couldn't have said it better myself. There's no place for females in my line of work. Maybe you ought to reconsider that statement, she says, grabbing hold of him and hurling him across the top of the car with a judo throw. Where did you learn how to throw a guy around like that? Let's just say a girl learns a lot if she's been Superman's girlfriend. Now we're even for your flying tackle in the park. Why are we going into this alley? What are you pulling out of your coat? Compacted plastic bags.
Of course.
And do as I say. Minutes later, 2 what looked like bodies inside plastic bags being thrown into the back of that garbage truck that was mentioned several panels ago. An ordinary routine from the outside, right? But inside, nothing's ordinary about this particular garbage truck. So then there's Lois Lane and this Simon Cross, the agent, getting out of the plastic bags, and they're in some kind of headquarters with a bald guy sitting behind a desk and lots of computers and screens and things around him. I don't believe it. A carpeted wall-to-wall executive suite on wheels. Simon Cross reporting, sir. While, as the truck proceeds, so the truck's now driving along, and the one-armed guy has jumped onto the roof of it. Won't you have a seat, Mr. Cross? Chair rising out of the floor? What next? There is indeed a chair rising out of the floor. All of this seems a lot of trouble to go to have a headquarters and some meetings. I'm sorry to report that Dr. Foxley, and the boss man already knows, has been exterminated by the enemy. Yes, the news had already reached me. Now, as for her, I trust you have a good reason for bringing the renowned Lois Lane into an SIA matter. But it is Lois who reports the murder with reportorial accuracy. A very thorough account, Miss Lane, but of course you understand none of this must be released to the public yet. Okay, if you let me continue assisting Agent Cross, unofficially of course. Now, so I see, that's the deal. She'll keep the story secret if she if he lets her join in on the case. Now, just a minute, I protest. You can't take such a suggestion seriously. Palling around with Superman is one thing. That doesn't qualify her for dangerous undercover work. I don't agree, says the boss man. The hazardous missions she completed with Superman are a matter of record. And after a month's work, Cross, you still haven't cracked this case on your own. And meanwhile, on the roof of the truck, the one-armed guy is listening with a stethoscope, so he can hear that they're saying, since she's already proven how helpful a resourceful reporter can be to us, I suggest you bring her up to date right now. That's an order, Cross. And the guy with the robot arm uses his robot arm to grab hold of a bridge. He's thinking, so if Simon Cross and Lois Lane will be working together, I'll make sure that they die together. So that is part 1 of, what was it called? The Murdering Arm of Metropolis. And I'll be back soon with part 2, Lois Lane, Undercover Agent.